this week on Alabama Life. There's no substitute for a good love story. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is relocated to Coleman, and rock yourself to sleep on the river. It's all in search of good eats and wild adventures. There's no time to waste. This is Alabama Life. Coming up on Alabama Life, Yum Yum in my Tum Tum.
Come to Wildflower where they got good food. Come to Wildflower. Let me try that again. Okay, one more time. All right.
The Wildflower Cafe is in Mentone, Alabama. It's the perfect combo of healthy food and herbal remedies.
Can I just start with my story?
Yeah.
Okay, in 2005, I lived in Gadsden. Had a bad car accident and was in the hospital for 40 days. And really a good brush with death, you know. So I recovered from that and found Mentone in my recovery from that and moved up here. Started working for Miss Margaret Baker, who founded the Wildflower Cafe, and I threw on my chef coat and got inspired and energized. Felt better than I had felt the whole time since my recovery. As soon as I got that chef coat on and working, started robbing her cupboards and getting out everything I could find to come up with whatever I could create, because that creative, passionate energy had just started just sparkling.
We'll do it again, too.
Do it again.
2, 3.
At least one more time.
You know, after the car wreck, I wanted to learn how to cook more healthy. While I was cooking up here, I wanted to learn how to be more healthy, because in that recovery, I realized how unhealthy that I was. There was this herbalist, naturalist, that had a shop just right across the street. And she had sort of all the answers. Well, I was kind of smitten from the start. Had organic pancakes on the menu, and she was the girl to go to, the go-to girl for this really good organic pancake mix.
I met Chef Ben, when he came over to buy organic pancake mix from me at my little shop over here, where I sold all of my handmade herbals and local produce and organics.
And you know, I would go in there and she was beautiful inside and out.
We were quite different in how we did our lives at the time. And so at that time we were just friends, and I wouldn't have known that we would have ended up together. I thought he was a fun, free-loving, friendly guy, nice-looking guy, though I never knew that we'd end up together at the time. And then he had a small little cafe that sat about 20 people. And then over there at that cafe, when he had that, I came up one day, or the lady that owned it came up to me and said, "Would you like to buy it?" And I said, well, she said, "Let me see the menu." And I had organic, natural, gluten-free type things. She said, "Oh, that'll never go." And then so she said, "Let me talk to the chef."
Long story short, in talking to her, I have a daughter, and she has a daughter. They played about 4 years apart, so they would play, and we would talk, and there were lots of ideas shared, and she had, seemed to me, all those answers of how to be more healthy and how to cook more healthy.
So she talks to the chef, and which happens to be him, and he says, "Well, I do want to run it." Well, 3 months later, he comes to me and puts his arm around me and says, "I have a crush on you." And then that was in May, the third weekend in May, and then by that following September we got married, and by that following October we opened this place and combined both of our businesses into one and changed the menu around to reflect the organic and natural things from the beginning.
I fell in love with cooking through love. Cooking came through me through love, through my mother. The deliciousness of the food, she'd always tell me why my food tastes so good is because of the love I put in it for you. And that story has just been welded into my noggin by my mama.
I grew up on a dead-end street, and back there I used to roam the woods and go over the creeks and things like that. And when I was living in West Hollywood, California on Melrose, living my dream, I realized how few plants there were around me, and I longed for the plants back in my native Alabama. So I moved back here, and when I moved back here, I vowed that I would know everything green that I walked upon, and I'm almost there. I still have a lot that I need to key out, but I can tell you about the family that they're in, even if I don't know. And some of the things don't have uses, but it's amazing how many things grow in your front yard that are weeds that are actually wildflowers. So we say here, may all your weeds be wildflowers, and I mean that. The reason why I eat healthy is because what I put in my body is what makes me who I am. You are what you eat type of thing. So if you eat things that don't have substance and don't have a lot of value, then I feel like the more substance and value my food contains, the more substance and value that I'm putting into my body, and the more I cherish and love what God has given me to take care of.
The heart goes back to my mom and my dad and the love for what we're doing and what we're putting into our bodies. So that's really my story there. Come to Wildflower where they got good food. Come to Wildflower, Chef Ben's a cool dude. Come to Wildflower where the waitresses are hot. Bring your computer, it's a Wi-Fi hotspot. Come to Wildflower, it's just around the curve. Talk to Moon if you need some herbs. Ooh, Wildflower Cafe. Ooh, Wildflower.
Coming up next on Alabama Live is the Ave Maria Grotto in Cullman, Alabama. In omnibus glorificatur Deus, translated into English, that means that in all things may God be glorified.